Hi there, students. Nuance can be both a verb and a noun. Let's see. A nuance is a minor difference, a subtle, fine difference between two things. So, for example, the verb to shout and the verb to scream. Okay, these both mean to make a loud noise, but there is a difference in nuance. Normally you shout because you want somebody to be able to hear you, because they're a long way away, or because there's a lot of background noise. But if they scream, then this has the idea of maybe they're making a lot of noise, but maybe they're angry, maybe they're in pain. There is something causing it. I think scream is louder than shout, and scream also implies you have less control. Yeah, is less controlled. So, nuance, subtle shades of meaning. Small differences between two things. I could use a leather belt to hold up my trousers, or I could use a piece of string. Both of them hold my trousers up, but my appearance is very different. Okay, so there is a difference in nuance. Maybe in one I want to look smart, and in the other, I really don't care. Take the two phrases to think about or to cogitate. So think about is neutral formality, whereas to cogitate is a much, much more formal word. So a difference in formality gives a different nuance. This talks about maybe the relationship between you and the person you're talking to. If you use something very informal, you're good friends, you're on a similar level. Whereas cogitate, this is maybe a sign of respect or a sign that this person you're talking to is more important to you, an authority maybe. So very often when we hear words, we feel differently when we hear one word or another. And even if the meaning is the same, the way we feel is different. And that gives nuance to different words. Translation from one language to another is very difficult. It's easy to translate the general meaning, but very difficult to translate the nuances, the fine shades of meaning given by the choice of one word or another word. So we can change the nuance of something as well by the way we say it. Come here. Come here. There's clearly a very different nuance, although the words are identical. I think one of the reasons phrasal verbs are so difficult is because they all have their own specific nuance. I locked the house. I locked up the house. So in which of those two phrases did I do a more thorough job? Lock says I put the key and turned the lock. I locked up the house. I made sure everything was locked and there was no easy way in for a thief. So the up nuances the meaning. Or another one. I walked up the road. I walked down the road. In both of these phrases, the road is flat, and I'm using up and down to say along the road. But let's see, I walked up the road. This has a nuance that I'm going towards something. I walk down the road. This has the nuance that I'm walking away from something. Okay, so different words give different nuances, different fine shades of meaning. Notice as a verb, to nuance means to give slight differences to things. So, yeah, English people are notoriously difficult to understand because they don't like to criticize things. And you need to understand if they really like or don't like something by listening to the nuances. What an interesting jersey. How different it is. The design is very unusual. What different colours they've used. Notice the nuance. At no point have I said, what a fantastic jersey. What a brilliant jersey. Yeah? And you need to listen for the nuance to understand what they're actually saying. So, nuance, subtle differences in the fine detail. Understanding the basics of English is much easier than understanding the nuances. Okay, so let's see. Formality. I'd probably give nuance 6.5 in formality. I think I'd use it in something semi-formal or something very formal. I think maybe informally, slight differences. Notice as well, to nuance is a regular verb. He nuanced the meaning. He has nuanced the meaning. And then as to origin, well, this word comes from French. I think there's a French word, nuance, meaning a nuance or a shade, a colour, a hue. So, yeah, a specific colour. And that in itself comes from vulgar Latin, nuba, a cloud. Okay, so nuances, slight subtle differences in meaning. So there we go. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Nuance.